the irony of today's world is that we live in a world whereby there are many opportunities for us to consume. There are movies to watch, there are clothes to buy, there's the internet, there is Netflix, video on demand, all forms of entertainment. And despite this seeming appearance of affluence and this sense of modernity, a lot of people still feel that sense of lack of purpose or lack of clarity in terms of what they want to do, in terms of how they want to make meaningful use of their time. And I think a big reason for this is really just a lack of balance between creation and consumption. Okay, we're all born with a creative impulse. Even Abraham Maslow has said that, okay, as human beings, we have this innate desire to want to create something, to leave our imprint. It's an important part of meaning creation. And nobody can really give that to you, okay? Your partner is not going to give that to you. Your boss is not going to give that to you. It's not something that you can buy, And between consumption and creation, when it comes to consumption, many people actually, they get stuck in this comfort zone whereby they're just consuming things. And at some point they get into this routine whereby they're just working and then consuming, working and then consuming. And at the end of the day, the time just passes by and yet they feel that something is missing in their lives, So that is where I feel that creation really would help you to overcome that sense of that void that you may be feeling in your life. And when it comes to creation, I'm not just referring to artistic pursuits, So it does not necessarily mean that you need to do art or make music. It could even be something like sending an email to your friend, having a deeper sense of communication with someone or with the society, cooking a meal, even that is a creative enterprise. Just bringing your own flavor, bringing in your own flavor, your own style of doing something, whereby you're not just taking what somebody else has done and just replicating it, but really giving yourself the time to reflect on what inspires you and thinking about what you could possibly bring to the table. Okay, so the process of creation is a lot more challenging in that sense, but fulfilling at the same time, because you are actually allowing yourself to explore things that your soul wants to explore. And you are never going to know what exactly that is until you really take that plunge and give yourself the freedom to explore that. So there are some barriers to creation, and one of it is age, right? Many people think that after a certain age, I cannot do this anymore, and that in itself is a myth that should be thrown out of the window. You can create at any age, whether or not it is creating your own dance moves or creating your own music and stuff like that. So that subconscious belief of age or even gender, if you feel that women cannot do certain things, men cannot do certain things, are limiting beliefs that restrain you. And another subconscious belief that prevents a lot of people from creating is the idea that they do not have the qualifications, so they do not want to make music because they feel they've not gone for vocal lessons, or they don't have the paper certification to create art or to do something, And again, when you create, do not be limited by this sense that you need to have this stamp of approval by someone, because creation, take it as an end in itself, just as a form of soul expression, and that in itself is very healing, and it will bring you a sense of joy that again money can't buy. Okay, so that is another myth that needs to be overcome. And another big barrier that people have when it comes to creating is the fear of judgment. Okay, when it comes to consumption, it's pretty straightforward, right? You just consume what has already been created, not much of thinking involved in that sense. Okay, but when you want to create something, you are going to be judged, your work is going to be scrutinized, and many people are afraid of putting themselves out there. And again, that has to be overcome, because no matter what you do, people are going to judge you anyway. So do not let that stop you, and don't think that there's something that has to be perfect before you can put it out there in the world. Whether it's a product, whether it's a service, whether it's a piece of poetry, allow yourself the freedom to experiment, and that experimental attitude towards life is going to give you a big sense of fulfillment. Also, it's going to allow you to connect with new people, discover new opportunities, and perhaps one day the whole creative enterprise, you may be doing it for fun, but it could lead to other possibilities as well when it comes to monetization and stuff like that. Okay? So at the end of the day, all I want to say is you don't have to pick between consumption and creation. It's more about establishing a balance, and it is a dynamic relationship. You need to consume, you need to learn, and it gives you new ideas and stuff. But at some point, you cannot just be stuck attending workshops, reading books, listening to music, and your whole day is just spent in this unidimensional mode of just taking it in and absorbing and taking it and absorbing. At some point, you need to stop and start putting yourself out there, start applying what you've learned, and start creating. Okay, so have fun with that. Thank you so much for joining me. And if this inspires you, do subscribe and like this video, and I'll see you soon.